or it can make you gayer. So it depends where you want to go.
Ooh, I could be okay with that.
The upgade.
Be upgade.
Upgade.
I love that.
I love that. Some people pay for that, you know, I think. Jane, being upgade.
Be upgade.
Janejira, you need to be writing this down.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Get back into stand-up.
Yeah, man.
And I think I'm in a good mood today because I was looking at pictures of bunnies and I was like, this is the
Yay.
best day. Have you guys
Bunnies
seen
make
photos of
everybody happy.
bunnies?
Does she
There's a
reply?
little bunny attached to the microphone. Just noticed
too cute.
that.
Yes. I got the bunny army is all here.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess nagging means arguing.
I don't have the
What?
pieces for this today.
Nagging. Does that mean
No,
arguing?
nagging is like when somebody's
No.
bothering you, like my son
Oh.
was doing, like wanting to talk to you, bothering you.
It's nagging. I always thought it's not nagging.
Yeah, so she must have made
About to
it. She
go
must have made
live.
it
Can you
good.
guys mute for a second, please? Thank you.
Sure.
Just a heads up, I'm not in a good fucking mood today. Nothing personal, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I am not in a good mood. So today, just try work with me. Yo, yo, yo. Happy Easter. I don't know if you're like me and you don't have your kids, you're probably happy you got to sleep in and you didn't have to do a fucking Easter bunny hunt, right? But happy Easter, everybody. Welcome to Dating with Disabilities 2. We've got a great show for you today. Hopefully our fifth panelist shows up. She's running a little late. She said her mom's nagging her and she's black. And I was like, hold on, is that an A or an I? No, I'm just joking. Welcome to Dating with Disabilities 2. Make some noise, you guys. We've got our usual suspects here. We've got Emma Blue Glasses. Everybody say hi, Emma.
Yes.
We've got our potato chip bullshitter, enthusiast, Janejira Damron.
Hello.
We've got piss and vinegar, sunshine, Audra Sisak, right?
Hello.
Yes.
We've got Variety D. I'm black, so I'm gonna be late, so I can't highlight her right now, right? Fucking black people. They act like that, and I didn't know we act like that in all countries. I just thought we were late in America. I didn't know we were late in England too. Shit. And then give it up for our guest panelist today. Give it up for Mark Burkwood.
Yes.
Well, before we jump into things, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about you, Mark. Who are you? What do you do? What do you know? What's up?
So I work in a special needs school. I'm autistic, and I run a disability and mental health night called Laugh Able over here in the UK. So yeah, that, and I have 3 brothers as well. One of them's an identical twin. He's also autistic. So yeah, it's I have quite an interesting life. But yeah. I don't know how long or short you wanted that to be, but that's basically me.
Well, I was just, you're supposed to tell us, hey, I'm Mark. I'm a comedian. I host shows, all the bad stuff we could have got into later. I was just trying to figure out who in the fuck you were. They're not your doctor, your psychiatrist. They didn't really need your diagnosis already, but hey, it's all right.
I thought this was a therapy session.
Oh, it's fucking
so wrong. Damn it.
This is not fucking therapy at all.
That's charge you, Mark.
Yeah. We gotta charge you now.
Only one of us is qualified to give you therapy.
No, I think
which
Emma's
one is it?
Emma's the only one.
There's two of us.
There's actually two of us. Jane is fine.
Yay!
We can tag team him, Audra.
Yeah.
Well, that might be one of his fantasies. Now he's really getting happy. 2 for 1. He's like, I didn't even bring a coupon. This is awesome. Then we went from worst dates to best dates. Come on now. What's up? Jesus, we're no longer talking about worst. Now let's talk about best. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, it just all changed in a matter of 2 minutes, didn't it? He's like, I like this show. I'll come back. I got a threesome lined up. Come on. But it's this week we're doing we got 2 things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about children. We're going to talk about worsts. Now, I'm in a shitty fucking mood today because of my worst relationship and not getting to see my children. So this is fucked up for Duante. You know what I'm saying? Where's my sound effects, potato chip enthusiast?
I was gonna say this is like real life.
You got
That
one
feels like
job.
therapy.
Laces out, motherfucker. No, I'm just joking. But today, we're starting with worst. Before we got there, though, I wanted to talk about a couple of things. We do the show Dating with Disabilities for a major reason. And the major reason why we do this show is because there's a lot of representation in our community that is either at basically the far end, deep end of the pool. And what I mean by that is, I guess in Britain, they told us they have a show like our Love on the Spectrum. And we have Love on the Spectrum that was on Netflix. And it seemed like most of the people that they do these shows with are they're like, and I don't know how to say this without saying it, but they're disabled. Meaning you look at them and you know they're disabled. Their everyday lives are handicapped. Their everyday interactions are handicapped. And so it really gets away from the conversation that we have here of the normal everyday person who has to explain to somebody, I have high anxiety. I have, you know what I mean? I have Asperger's and I'm an emotional person. I'm going to cry. You got to stop hurting my feelings. And they're like, but you're a 6'3" black guy. You don't cry. You're not supposed to cry. Motherfucker, I cry. You know what I'm saying? So the purpose of our show is making sure that everybody, whether they're visibly and knowably disabled or you can't tell, they're able to kind of express what they go through and how dating is affected with their disabilities. Did I miss anything there, guys?
No, you got it.
I know, for being in a shit mood, I'm very thorough this morning.
You're on it. See, we got coffee over here.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not going to be
coffee
telling
here.
jokes. I'll just be talking. I'll be telling truths today. Today is not the joke day. Today is the truth day. So we're going to get this thing started. Our first topic today we're going to talk about is the idea of having children. That could be what if you want to have them. Do you already have them? How you feel about having them? Unfortunately, we don't. I was hoping Benny might be here so we could talk about, because that was something we wanted to ask him about, especially when you're already physically handicapped in a visible way. How do you feel about having children? Is that something you're worried about? So we'll go through those today. Our first one up today on the panel, though, is Audra. So let's tell us about how you feel about having children, short stuff.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you had asked me 20 years ago, I would have said, nope. I was not having kids. That was not in my plans. But then I met this person named Ed, and he already had a kid. I say he came like pre-packaged already. You know, he had one. And so I had to learn how to actually be around kids while dating somebody. And I was told that I couldn't have kids and that I was infertile. So I was just like, all right, that's it. I guess this is my life. I'm going to have a step kid basically. And I'm good with that. I was learning how to be around kids. And then lo and behold, I did something which was take birth control and antibiotics at the same time. And I was on my epilepsy. I had epilepsy at the same time. So then you end up pregnant.
No, I think there's more to it. You got to be fornicating as well. I don't think it's just the I had an epileptic seizure, take antibiotics and my birth control, and somehow I magically got pregnant. Come on, don't lie to the people there.
Well, there obviously, yes, there is another person involved. But yes, I ended up pregnant, which was a huge miracle because it was only he was one and done. That was it. He was my only natural born child. It was a high risk pregnancy. It was a high risk birth. Him and I both could have lost our lives. He actually almost did. And after that, I decided.
Yeah, I was going to say, most husbands usually almost lose their lives during pregnancy. That's not new. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Boy, I wanted to.
Exactly. Yeah. Hello.
See it.
Yeah. So, and then after that, I just decided between my medical conditions with endometriosis and PCOS and everything else, it was like, and then I ended up having a hysterectomy about a year ago. So now I am free and clear, pain free, and I have 2 beautiful kids.
Woo! Yeah.
Woohoo! All right, that's not too bad. That was all nice and fancy. It made me warm and fuzzy on the inside. Go to
That's
hell.
right.
I'm not going warm and fuzzy today. Fuck that. I'm definitely not Cupid today. I'm the other guy with the fucking anvil going, fuck it, break up with her. Mark, you're up next. Mark, the midget from Britain. What do you got? How do you feel about the idea of having children? What do you got?
Yeah, no, I'm all for that. But you know, people who I've dated previously, 2 which didn't ever want to have kids. I mean, one of them had sort of bipolar as well, so there was a lot of complications around having children if you had bipolar as well. So that was a bit more understandable. And the most recent person I was with wanted to sort of have them too quickly, even if we weren't.
There's that gray area. Like if a woman's too willing to have kids, you're like, oh no, hold on, whoa, red flag, fuck that. Like I don't give a shit if your factory dries up tomorrow. Give me a month, right? Like shit, you can't. Am I lying here? Like I told somebody once, I don't like having kids. I just like practicing making them. You know what I mean? Like
Of course he does.
That's the fun part. I just like mixing the ingredients. I don't want to put it in the oven and let it cook. You know what I mean? Like throw it out.
But no, I think it was just the worst time. Like we were in lockdown. We were still living with my mum, and it was just a bit like, now's not the right time. And it was just a bit like, oh, but I've
got a rule. When you have kids, this is how you avoid that. The only person who gets laid in my house is the person who pays the bills. So if your mom would have initiated that rule, you wouldn't have that problem, would you?
I guess not. I guess
you
we'll
can't
never
get
know
laid at
now,
mom's house. You gotta have your own house. We gotta go to a hotel room, but I live in my mom's house and I don't pay the bills here, so I can't get laid. That's the rule. That's the family rule.
But no, it's so I've never really found the right person to have kids with, but I didn't want to have them, and I used to be I used to want to have my own kids, but now I'm quite open-minded now, like adopted kids. There's so many unwanted kids in the world that no one adopts. Might look into fostering one day. I don't know. Like I'm not too worried about that now. Family's always been important to me because my family were there for me, and that's just how it is. And I work in a school as well. I work with kids. You think actually I'd want to break from that, but no. Actually, I really, really enjoy my job, and I just
And let me ask you this, because you said your partner was bipolar. Why was it that you felt that was a hindrance to wanting to have kids, man?
Well, no, she did actually, and because I was still really sort of keen to have, but because if she sort of fell pregnant, she'd have to come off her medication, and there's certain risks involved in that. And then we looked into sort of adoption, and then it was like actually the amount of hoops you have to jump through in the UK to adopt a child is ridiculous. And if you have a history of mental health problems, it makes it even harder. But then in the end, I just don't think she wanted them. She didn't actually want them, and I felt like I was putting too much pressure, and it was just a bit like we clearly want different things. And whether it was to do with our bipolar or to do with the fact that she still want kids, I could never work that out in the end. But in the end, I felt like we were, and it would have been very, very challenging for both of us, I think.
You're not lying there. I've been I don't know. I've been following this, and I think some of you guys might also know. But I remember the first Down syndrome couple that got married, and I think they just celebrated their 25th anniversary or something like that.
It's amazing.
Here's the crazy part. Their kid's a normie. So he's got 2 Down syndrome parents who he has more maturity than. And they didn't want to let them keep the baby at first. Does anybody else know what I'm talking about and follow with the story? Yeah, you guys all know what I'm talking about. Okay,
yeah, we've seen it. It's on TLC in Britain.
Yeah. It's Britain.
Yeah.
Britain.
You were late. You don't get to talk to your spoken to.
I'm the black time. Man. My mum is dancing cooking Brit.
We already talked about that.
You've got to start it now. What have you done, Dante? You've unleashed.
Black people are. Hey, I got a mute button.
I don't care.
Like Benny, I know how to use it. See, I can do that. See, I just mute her real quick. I know how this works. I don't shake, so I can hit
Ask
mute.
my mama.
See, I can hit mute again. See, before she even by the time, see, we can do this all day, Variety D. See, I got you. I'm the man today. See, you got to fuck with me. Fuck with me. I fuck with you.
You ain't got me. You ain't got my left hip. Listen,
Yeah. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll take the left tit, the right tit. At this point, I'll take any tit I can get. You ain't got to my worst yet. I've been stood up 5 times in 2 weeks. Fuck, never mind.
God
Anyways,
damn, you win. Okay.
how else do you feel about children, Mark? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good?
Yeah, no, I do want them, but just with the right person. So that's it.
So you're getting consent. He's learning, everybody. He's learning for a white guy. I just want to say congratulations. He's learning how to get consent. Next up, we've got the potato chip enthusiast.
Hell yeah!
Janejira,
right.
are you and my
Strap
little
in,
tattoo
guys.
friend
I got some
named
thoughts.
Oh, are you and my little tattoo-looking friend named Sid making little babies and have a whole little bunch of little Filipinos running around, or what? What's going on?
Hell nah. Nah. So he, he's an after-school teacher and he works with kids. So he has seen the worst of them. He is aware that they are capable of being little demons, which I'm so grateful for, because there ain't no way in hell I'm gonna have them, because my body is like marginally adequate in terms of like healthy. So I'm 1,000% sure when it comes to childbirth, I'm most likely going to die. And like that's my biggest concern with having kids. Like in health class, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, sometimes moms die during childbirth. And I was like, they what? And like, how is nobody concerned about this? I had one ex who's like, they have drugs for that. And I was like, yeah, but they still die. That's a concern that I have. And then a voice actor that he met actually did die from that. And I was like, this happens, bro. You cannot ignore this thing. And then also, like, how I imagined my life involves a lot of like traveling and not being home and just like being in my studio doing my own thing, ignoring the world, and then coming out and playing with the dogs and my significant other. And I don't want to put a kid into that, because then the kid would like be home alone, or like with a baby, be with not me for a little bit. And
I was gonna say, I hope not alone.
well, there you go. That shows I already shouldn't be a kid. Mom not thinking about that.
They only call CPS on black kids. You're fine, Janejira. You're okay.
No, but like, I've already been abandoned. Like, I know what that's psychologically like. I don't want to like put that on a child. So that's really sad. And yeah, also like, kids know how you're feeling and stuff. So I feel like the kid would be smart enough to grow up and realize that I may not have wanted it in the first place. And that's also going to mess it up psychologically. I've thought about this a lot.
Hold on, that's every black kid. Hold on, I think Variety D will agree with this. Every black kid has been told by their parents how much better their lives would have been if they didn't have them. I'd have 3 cars if I didn't have you fucking kids. I wouldn't have these stretch marks either. So I mean,
he is correct on the stretch marks. The cars.
Yeah, I don't want to inflict that onto a little person.
But that's part of that makes you who you are. That's why we got all these fucking participation trophy fucking kids, because nobody wants to tell their kids they're not shit, and fuck them kids. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'd like to not inflict that on a child. I had this is also kind of tied into my worst. This one ex, I specifically was like, yo, I don't want to have kids, and he had this in his mind. It was a brilliant idea. It was a dumb idea. Get ready for the dumbest shit you've ever heard. So his ex asked him if he would be willing to be like the sperm donor for her if she was gonna have like kids whenever, and he said yes. And then he told me, he's like, so babe, don't get mad, which is already the worst thing you could say to a person. Yeah. His brilliant idea was that if his ex had twins, they could like separate the twins, and then we could just have one. so that I wouldn't have to give birth to it, and then he'd have a biological child. And I was like, what kind of crack are you on?
This is the worst idea I've ever heard.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say it's called white
Jesus.
crack. It's called meth. That's methed up because that's methed up. That's
I
not
know.
crack. That's methed up. That's methed up. That's what
And
white
he
people
thought
do.
that I'd just be cool with it. I yeeted out of that relationship so fast. I texted all my friends and I was like,
Good.
the engagement is off.
Good.
Well, I'm just trying to figure this out. Like, he was white, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's from Texas.
I'm mad at the. Just oh yeah,
Texas.
black guys aren't that
Oh,
fucking
no.
stupid.
No.
Asian
Yeah, no.
guys aren't that confident in themselves, and Mexican guys already make 3 babies at a time, so they don't gotta ask permission. No. I'm going to hell today. I'm on a roll. Maybe I need to be pissed off every time we do this fucking podcast. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Plus, I know that, like, you know, I don't have any maternal instincts or whatever to, like, be a good parent. So I'm not going to just have a kid and then be a bad parent and then be like, oh, I wonder why the kid's messed up. It's because of me. Duh.
So unlike everybody else's generations who are like, I don't know why my kids are all fucked up, and we're like, because of you, Mom. Like, remember you and Dad used to beat the shit out of us and leave us in the backseat of a Chevy while you went inside? Dogs die in that kind of environment now. You'd go to jail. Shit. My bad. I digress. You know what I mean? Like, these
Yeah,
kids
I'm
can
gonna
fucking
not
make
mess up the next generation.
I'm mad at I can see Variety D has been dying this whole morning, but she's like, he said he was pissed off. I'm just gonna stay on mute. I'm not fucking with him. You got
He
anything
said,
else?
I'm taking a break. I'm
Hey,
taking a break.
hey, you get your chance. Mind your business. Mind your business. I had to mute her again. See how this works? See, she started talking again. I got to put her back in the seat. Well, this baby don't like no
I
chair.
also do have one more thought. If
Oh.
you are the type of person who is like, oh, I hope my kid doesn't end up like, you know, being gay or having autism, don't have a kid. Just straight up.
That is for real.
I can't lie to you. It was so when you're first a parent, and I think who Audra and the ones that have kids will understand. The first time you have a kid, you're like, I hope it's a boy, and I hope he's good looking. And then after you go through the scare of having a kid and seeing everybody else have these kids with 3 legs or 4 toes and shit, you're like, can it just be healthy? I just want at first you want, you know, and then I just want it to be alive and have all its fingers.
Yeah, that's the only thing you should want for your kid. And like, if you are gonna love your kid any less because of a reason that's not their fault, why are you a parent?
Exactly. That's right.
You could have saved me a lot of therapy money if you'd have just asked my dad that 5 years ago. Next up, though, thank you, Janejira. Thank you, Janejira.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Who knows what time it is? It's the blue glasses girl.
Oh, hey.
How do you feel about children, Emma?
I freaking love children. So basically, I studied children, like as in, you know, I've done my honours degree, my postgrad degree, everything. So I've been working with families for like 25 years. I love kids, but if you'd have asked me when I was younger if I was going to have children, I was too young. I would never have made a logical decision to have a child. It was purely that I was just blessed with a child. And when my son was born, who's now an adult, I quite quickly realised that he might have autism. And obviously I thought, well, I've made this most awesome human, like nothing's going to top that. So I just give up at number 1. So yeah, it wasn't meant to be. I would have liked to have more children, but I didn't want to have more children with the person I was with. And I personally think, I don't know if this is my personal view, but a lot of people may agree or disagree with this. I do think that who you're having the child with is important. Like, I think it's important that you have a good bond with them, you know, because they're going to have some sort of role in the child's life, you know, in the long term. So whether you stay with them or not. So I think like that was like a primary thing over having a child. So even if like for women, sometimes we get like hormonal desire to have a child. And I know it's the same for men. One of the things you were saying earlier is about like women putting pressure on men, but I've had the same experience. So a guy I was dating wanted kids straight away, And I was like, we're not deep enough into this to have kids. And he was like quite forceful about it. He's like, I have my seed. I need to sow my seed. I need to create. And he was
You
like,
didn't tell us you dated Mark for a couple weeks. We heard the story earlier.
And it was like so forceful. And then what happened there is obviously he then got to know my son and realized my son had autism, and I quote unquote, he didn't want an autistic child. So I was like, oh, suddenly my womb has become unavailable.
Closed.
Closed for business. Because my womb likes creating autistic children, all right. And just to add to the irony, he was autistic also.
Oh my gosh.
So yes, that was interesting. Yeah, but there is that scenario where men will try to actually impregnate you and get quite, aggressive about it, like wanting their seed spread and wanting kids as well.
That's literally the pot calling the kettle black, ain't it?
Yeah.
I can't imagine I remember when my ex-wife found
Broody
out
men.
that my grandmother, my biological grandmother, was bipolar, schizophrenic, right? And she was like, well, I wish we'd have known that before we had kids. And fuck you, you know what I mean? I don't know. I can understand. It is what it is. You got anything else, Blue Glasses, before we get to the funny stuff? We got to get through these hard ones.
Well, other than the fact, obviously, I live with mental illness, so that's another big concern for people. They don't want to have children who might have a mental illness. There is obviously, sometimes mental illness was in my family, and mine was passed down through, obviously mine is trauma related, but there is such a thing as I noticed somebody on the internet the other day said, hang on a minute, you can't get a mental illness from your parents. And I was like, oh. I was like, we've got they'd never heard of transgenerational trauma, didn't realize there was any sort of links between family members having mental illness and them. So there's a lot of ignorance.
Genetic.
Yeah, there's a lot of ignorance. So I think it would help if people were a little bit more educated, to find out, And also the other big thing I've noticed, because I worked a lot with infants and babies as well, that was part of my studies, was that one interesting thing I found was that midwives or people working in that area just refused to talk about the possibility of any women giving birth to any type of disabled child. The whole rhetoric around the healthcare system is it will be a well, healthy, able-bodied child. And that was something that kind of traumatized me when I had my son. And then obviously I didn't know about his disability straight away and trying to help him, but kind of being forced into this mold as a mother that I was told for a very long time it was my parenting and that I was a bad mother, and that kind of damaged our relationship, when in fact it was that he had his disabilities and I was just trying to provide for his needs. So that does put you off kind of going into parenting again, because you kind of I've been told I'm a bad parent.
Yeah, fuck that. I'll fuck somebody up. I can't. I can only nope. Oh fuck, I'm up. I get to talk about children. I miss mine. We'll start there. I also think it's weird. For me, it was kind of a Well, I guess I'll tell this story. So when my oldest daughter, I'm self-diagnosed, and I'm autistic. I have what was it called? Mutism. What did you guys call it?
Selective mutism.
I have selective mutism. I can't talk when I get too emotional, and I will not talk at all. I will just cry. I just saw that earlier. I don't talk. I just cry, and I'm not going to express anything. And I'm going to be saying a million things when I'm looking at you, but I'm not going to say them. I'm just going to think them. And so it's been refreshing, and it also help my relationship with my oldest daughter once I was divorced, because we were hanging out one time and I was getting in her ass about something, arguing with her about something, and I saw her crying and looking at me and staring, and I go, "Can I tell you a secret?" She's like, "What?" I was like, "You're autistic." And she got quiet. She's like, "How do you know that?" I said, "Because whenever you get emotional, you have so many things you want to say and you can't say them, but you sit there and cry." And I said, "You say so many things to me with your eyes, but you just can't verbally say them." And I was like, "You feel anytime you get this feeling, you just shut down and you want to say stuff, but your mind doesn't let you say it, and you just stare at me blankly." She goes, "How do you know that?" And I go, "Because I go through the same shit. Because I'm your dad. I understand." And for us, that was like one of the biggest bonding moments we've ever had, because we'll talk about worse later, but my wife wasn't the best, definitely not her mom to my child. And so when you have this separation and your daughter tells you, "I've always known that I wasn't treated equally," that shit broke my heart. And then I had to talk to my daughter and tell her, Daddy's going to be single and start dating again. So when I start dating again, you're going to have to tell me if people are loving you properly, because I'm not going to know. And so for me, it's been like, we talked to Jen Etchelson yesterday about, black kids being misdiagnosed. And she just posted a whole post that went exactly through what I talked about. I hate that. Black people of color. I hate BIPOC. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Black, indigenous. Never mind. Sorry. If you're black and indigenous, then you're obviously a person of fucking color. Sorry. But it says are more likely to be labeled as dangerous and diagnosed with behavioral disorders, which makes seeking a professional diagnosis both inaccessible and unsafe.
Yeah.
Think about that. So when you're a kid of color, and I was especially large and scary and super intelligent, these teachers, who are usually Caucasian, right, are intimidated by you. And instead of you getting a diagnosis of autism or nonverbal learning disorder like another friend of ours has, or Asperger's, or any of these different things, you get ADHD, and you get ADD, and you get put on pills, and you get put on meds, and that fucks with us. And it fucked with my kids. My oldest daughter was on Adderall, and I finally had her taken off that shit. Because it's like, she's not in school. Why in the fuck are we putting her on Adderall? And they didn't have an answer to that. You know what I mean? Right? And then it was like, once I figured out, she's fucking bored. She doesn't need to be on Adderall. You guys need to fucking challenge her, right? And so I guess my point is that now that I'm an autistic adult, and understand that, it's made me more of a champion for autistic children. And that has really hit home with me, that a lot of, especially kids of color, aren't bad. They don't have social issues. They've got mental handicaps. I didn't use the word. You saw that? I was about to, Audra. I didn't use it. It was all I could not to. I was going to pounce on that motherfucker, go, ta-da! Right? But that's the thing, is that I'm finding that for me, the idea, and I think we talked about this once, that they say that 90% of your brain is unused and that you do most of your stuff subconsciously. Has anybody ever looked into the idea that maybe those who are autistic and neurodivergent are using more of their conscious brain power? Hence why they do things differently and sense things differently. And we seem to have an awareness about things that most people don't. And so for me, that's where I've kind of left it at, is that there's got to be, you can't tell me there's something wrong with autistic people when we can sense each other and we have sensing capabilities that most people don't. You can't tell me that there's not something special or better about being autistic or Asperger's when I can hyper focus better than anybody else. Right? Like, I don't get that. So for me, it's learning that children shouldn't be told that they're handicapped because they have Asperger's or autism. It's that they're gifted. And I like that word better than any of the ones we use. I hate disabilities. I hate impaired. They're gifted. And I think we should use that word more. That would be the end of my TED Talk. Thank you. Anyways, Variety D, what's up? We'll finally let you fucking talk. Come on. You've been quiet for a half fucking hour. Come on. What do you got, Variety D? You popping out some kids soon or what? What's up, short stuff?
Gosh, I want to, but hey, I live in the hearts of South London, whilst the person I admire a lot lives in the hearts of North London. So I have to go over the river and far away to go and get something in here. At least five. I want five.
We
Yeah,
knew
I
this
don't
shit was
care.
gonna happen. Wait for it. That's when we made her
I
last. We
want a
knew it was coming.
variety. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You want a variety of D? Whoa, hold on.
Whoa.
No, babies, babies. Babies. God damn. Oh, I just said this. But
I
yeah,
See why we call you Variety D, Dominic with her variety dick. I got you. I heard what you said.
listen, yeah. Okay. If you want to go deep down to the nitty-gritty side of my life, yes, when I was 16 years old, a few months before I started comedy, or just went up on stage down in an area called Rivington Street, in central London, I almost had a baby at the age of 16, but I miscarried due to my polycystic ovarian syndrome, and also I was just literally drinking and just doing stupidness, back then. And the guy I was with at the time, he was a dickhead. He didn't care, and it was so bad, so manipulative that he actually lied to my female friends at the time. I said, no, I didn't have sex with her. No, I just fingered her. So hold on a minute. I need to call NCIS or something, yeah, because this needs investigating. Because how can I be in your mama's house for 2 years and we're just playing fingers, Twister? What the hell? Yeah, and the girls, obviously they were young, they were on the side because I think they felt intimidated. He was an abuser. Let's not get to it. He was a abuser. So, having said that, he had that kind of that puppetry. He was very controlling. And then it got to the point where the cherry on top, the same friends had a baby from him. So the same girls, one of the same girls who he's actually neighbors with at the time, had a baby with her. So it was just like, raw. Everything happens for a reason. And a few months later, I performed comedy and cussed the shit out of them too. I called them I called them chalk and board. I don't give a shit. Anyway, so
I see you saw Derek Jackson's video. You got your little hair bonnet thing on today. Good job. I saw you.
Yeah, I did. I got a yellow one to say that the sun has risen. Yes, you see. Now get to work. So yeah, we're like, but no, I really do wanna have children. And my mum, bless her, she gave birth to me at the age of 18 and beat statistics of South London, because we have, well, the capital in general, or Britain. When you have back in the early 90s, when you have a baby under the age of 21, you're being like, pushed in the corner, especially the black woman as well. They'll be like, what are you doing in your life? It's too soon. You should have done this, should have done that. Da, 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 da. Now my mum's like, stuff you lot, got a baby girl now. I'm gonna still go uni, still do my thing, and make stuff happen. So yeah. But yeah, this when it's weird. I had this conversation, with my mum about babies and stuff, and sometimes my mum will give me a look like, oh, that's nice, but then she give me a look like, I don't want to be a grandma too young. I'm like, listen, yeah, mum, you're gonna look after, you're gonna babysit every weekend, isn't it? Because I want to go party and we're going to rave. So you're like, you got to compromise, So I got all planned out.
I'm good. You're too crazy for me. You're like, yeah, I got my grandma at home. My mom's at home. She can watch the kids. I can get some more variety D, and
I got goals, man. I got plans. I got aims.
And that's what we're gonna tell everybody now. You're not a whore. You're just like your variety D. You got to get your variety D, right? That's it. Oh God, I'm going to hell. I'm definitely going to hell. Do you have anything else about kids? Or are we good there, D?
Repent,
good?
Man. Repent, bro. Testify. What?
Let me ask you: are you gonna beat your kids like your mom beat you when you have them like that? That's a good
question.
question.
Oh no, definitely not. Do you know what? I might give them a twist in the ear or something, because got to remember, I'm a mix of. I'm not sure you heard of Cockney, West Indies, and Caribbean. That's my three heritage. So South American, Jamaican, and British.
So what are you, Samoan? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, I wish. My hips ain't that big. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, I come from a working class background, so there's a lot of bang, kind of thing. Pass the remote.
Kids are
back in
supposed to
my
be
day.
seen and not heard, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you something to fucking cry about. Like, that's the
Yeah,
most
yeah, the
sadistic
classic.
shit to
And
say.
then-
You over here. Oh, shut up. I'm going to give you something to fucking cry about. Hey, asshole. You already did. That's why I'm crying now. Like,
I give you the cherry on top of that one. When your mum or your auntie, your grandma's outside on the street and she's shopping and she says to her friends, "No, I don't beat my kid." You know what she talking about? Yeah, in denial. So I'm like, yeah, this reverse psychology. I don't like this.
or when they ask,
this
why are
some
your
BS.
kids so behaved? Do you know what I used to tell them? Because I beat my fucking kids. That's why. Maybe some of you white people should beat yours too. You know what I'm saying? Or the one.
But
This was
how
the one
hard though?
This was the one that killed me. I brought your ass in this world.
And then I can take you out, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We said the same thing here in South London. Like,
like black moms are assassins all over this world. Like, what was your job before you were a mom? You were a hit woman? Like, you're just taking out people? I'm next? Like, what the fuck? You crazy bitch. All right, I think we're good. We all right there? You got anything else for IDD? You good on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right. Now, all I can say is that I'm going to be 30 in 1 month, 3 decades old. I need to hurry up. COVID, piss off. Go away, coronavirus. I need to make babies.
I think Janejira's got an ex that wouldn't mind impregnating you with some twins as long as Janejira can keep one of them. So you can get one
Ew.
baby, he'll get the other.
No, it's fine. Now, I'll pass.
You'll pass.
Bye-bye.
All right. So our next topic. Let's go.
All right.
So you've got some things here. You got some options. We want to know about your worst. Now, is this going to be like the worst kiss, the worst date, your worst sex, your worst blowjob? Like, what are we talking about here?
So I have, there's a couple, but I'm going to go light on the first one and then we'll see how we go.
No, we got to go dark. We're going dark.
Okay. We will go dark. So it's really kind of his worst, but this guy ended up sending me, I'm just going to say, he sent me dick pics, unsolicited dick pics. And I thought, all right. And they weren't just any dick pics. They were like glamour shots. So this guy like stood in his bedroom.
So who's this gay friend that was taking the pictures for him? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because there's somebody in the room like, yes, Paul, that looks great. I love your veins. Yes, yes.
He's like in here and he's cut on, like highlighting his face and, really working the glamour shot. And I thought, oh, I got to show my best friend this. Well, I happened to be in graduate school at the time. And so we were at the college, and I'm not going to say which college. And
I know which college, but go ahead.
And we were in the computer lab, and I open up my email, and I show her these unsolicited dick pics in the computer lab. Well, it was right before class, and of course, everyone starts piling into the computer lab, and my entire class in the medical school graduate got to see unsolicited glamour shot dick pics.
Oh shit! Revenge.
That's that's the funny part. See, I don't believe in doing the glamour shot. I believe that all you need to really do is you're supposed to have something there so that way you can have your scale. So I don't even care about the dick pic. I just want to make sure you know that this TI-83 calculator is to scale with whatever I'm holding. You know what I mean? That's where I look at. I just want you to know. That's all I care about.
All right. Well, let me just say, snap P. You could put a snap P there for scale. All right.
Oh, damn.
Whoa.
You said he had a snap P penis. He had a midget penis. Am I allowed to say that?
I think it's called, the medical term micro penis, since we were in medical school. So
I don't even want to know. Like,
yeah. So that was my other word, but the other one was my worst cover-up name, because I never like to give my real name to anybody. Right after I got divorced, so was a Miss Crystal Chandelier. I used this. Yes, I did, and people believed me.
What the fuck?
I find it so funny that people believed it, but okay.
I think I tried to do that in Vegas once. And I went by Don Juan, and then I was telling everybody I was Carlos. Then I got too drunk and forgot I had talked to the bitches already. It was like, I'm Carlos. I thought you said your name was Dano. That's my cousin. You saw my cousin? He's down here too. No way. Like,
You got to keep track. You got to keep a book.
This is
Remember,
line 101.
20 years ago, I wasn't aware of how awkward I was. That wasn't happening about 15 years ago. I thought I was normal. Remember? I was like, hey, I'm just fine. Yeah, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
You learn as you go.
Is that the end of your worst? We're not getting anything else?
Yeah. Well, what else would you like? Except, oh, I'm sorry. How about the guy I took on my first date with me? And because he had no car and then had no idea about anything because he was probably about as smart as a bag of rocks.
Oh, see.
And
Don't
then
insult that bag of rocks. That's not cool.
that is insulting to the bag of rocks. And then told me, oh, yeah, so hey, science, that's what you do, huh? Yeah, that's what I do. And I said, can I drop you off at your house? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Who says science? Like that'd be like looking at me and being like, so funny that you do that funny thing, right? You're the
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
guy. Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with you?
So you funny, right? Yeah,
You
okay.
funny,
yeah.
yo, you funny, yo, you funny, you
So
funny,
much
yo,
love.
B, yo, you funny, man, you mad funny, man. Jesus Christ. I need to come pissed off every time. I got the great energy for today. Fuck, I just need to be pissed off at everybody every week. Fuck me.
That's right.
Mark, you're up, fucker. You're up, fucker. What's your worst
Okay.
experience? Now, this can be date, blowjob, handjob,
I
flirt.
was gonna say, what do you want to hear? Sexual experience or just a date?
It's up to you. This is up to you, buddy. All gloves are off.
Okay, well, so I'll start with the sexual one. So I used to live with my brother. Don't worry, it's not where the story's going.
Oh God, shit. We did.
No.
This
I'm
isn't
not-
Alabama. We don't want to hear
Yeah, no,
about
no.
that. No.
I mean, over here it would be Norfolk, but
Me
like,
and my mom. Oh fuck, this is not going well.
no, so like we share a room, and like he was out, and I had my girlfriend back, and we decided to try something like a bit kinky, and we handcuffs. So she handcuffs herself to the bed, and we're going at it, and I thought my brother was going to be out for a while, and then the key goes in the door, and we're panicking, and she managed to get one handcuffs on, but as soon as he opens the door, she's hanging off the bed, dangling, and she's actually like broken her wrist doing it. So that was
Oh fuck.
Oh my
that was a
days.
very awkward time in A&E, but I'm explaining that one away. Then there was so this was with the same girl, right? We decided, this was about 12 years ago, right? You know,
And I was going to tell you, just so you know, black people, we don't use handcuffs. That's not sexy to us. That's not.
That's
There's
Yes,
nothing
that's
about
right.
getting a
what do
handcuff
you use
that we
then?
found
What
sexy.
would be your kink?
Getting laid? I don't know if you know this. I'm not kinky. So I'm vanilla. So I got three positions since we're going to do this. I got doggy style, I got missionary, and then if you're lucky, I'm going to grab it from the side, right? That's about it. I'm not eating groceries, right? I'm not doing no butt plugs. I don't want no anal beads. I don't want none of that shit. Just regular old sex. So
I mean,
my kink is regular sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like maybe a blowjob. That's not even kinky. That's kinky.
I
to me.
mean,
That's
I'm
kinky.
really
We're doing
glad you
60
can be open about that. You know, it's you're coming out the closet here as a person who wants regular sex in our generation. It's very rare these days, but
yeah, I know.
Stand
They
up
call
and
me a
say you're
basic
vanilla,
bitch. Mind your
Dante.
business.
Own it. I'm vanilla. I love it.
I'm
you're vanilla.
60% vanilla.
Vanilla.
I'm chocolate swirl, bitch. Get it right. Chocolate swirl. So what was the other one? Go ahead. What's
the other one?
What's
Was so you know those flip phones with when phones first had cameras, right? This was a flip phone, like a Motorola, and we decided to film ourselves, and then we're about 19, but we film ourselves from the angle where she's on top, and you just see her bouncing up and down on me, and the thing is, so we filmed it months ago, and the thing is, so I get an upgrade on my phone, and I give my brother wanted my phone because it's a camera phone, and I was like, yeah, go for it. And he's flicking through, and then suddenly he sees, oh my God, he's got porn on his phone, and he flicks it open. He's like, and then he realizes after about a minute, he's telling me that it was actually me and my girlfriend. This gets worse. The next week,
How?
He is mugged. He has his phone stolen off him, i.e. my phone. So we've got all these from about some 14-year-old kids. So these 14-year-old kids now have my phone with me and my girlfriend's sex tape on it. So
Oh my gosh.
when I become big and famous, one day it's going to be on like Pornhub or something.
World's smallest penis. Oh, hey, I made it. Mark got he finally got the love he needs, right? World's smallest penis. When that video comes out, I'll let you know, Mark. I'll tag you in it. Oh, have you ever seen a micro penis? Here you go. I'm going to hell.
You are. You're definitely going to hell.
Hey, fuck you, buddy. You don't know me. You'll be
you
there.
know that gig I had you down for? I think there's another available spot if anyone wants it.
Hey, don't worry. I'll meet you there.
It's an
you're the one
autism
having
gig,
sex
so
in your
come on.
mom's house. Okay?
What?
I said, you're the one having sex in your mom's house. I'll meet you there, buddy. Okay? You'll be there sitting right next to me. Anything else you good on your worst? I mean, we could keep going. That I don't know if we want to. They're getting worse. They're getting weirder. That's for sure.
I mean, there's one that's not to do with sex. But whether you want to hear that or not, after all that.
Go ahead. We got time.
So it's the worst day, and this was about 3 years ago. So I meet this girl at a bar in Camden. Now Camden for US people, overseas people, is like this rock scene, and you know there's goths there, emos, that sort of vibe.
So Seattle.
And yeah, basically. Yeah. And so I meet.
You'd love it, Jen.
I meet her in this bar, and I was about 27. She's about 19, 20. And well, she comes over to me, right? And she thinks I look like Matt Smith's Doctor Who for some reason. I don't know why, but she's really digging that. And so she starts making all these jokes. Oh, I bet it's bigger on the inside and stuff like that. So like,
oh shit.
Yeah. So she's proper into me. She's like really going for it. And I'm like, oh, great. You know, I'm recently single. I was like, why not? So I exchange numbers with her, and we do that. And then a week later, we decide to meet in another bar in Camden, just me and her. But I realised the only thing we have in common is Doctor Who. And so the conversation dries up after about 15, 20 minutes. There's not much there. And the difference between a 20-year-old and a 27-year-old turns out quite a lot. Like, so then she goes, oh, yeah, we're going to meet my group of friends. Do you want to come meet my group of friends? I was like, okay, yeah, fine. And so we go to meet a group of friends, and we're at this other bar, but this other bar takes ID. Now, I haven't carried ID since I was about 25 because I went grey and got this beard very sort of early on. So everyone's going into this bar, and she's going in with a group of friends, and the ID, the guy's like, no, I need your ID. I'm like, how many 17-year-olds do you know that are grey and have a beard? Like, come on, let me in. And he's like, no, this is for security purposes. So then I haven't been let in, and she runs off with her friends, and I'm trying to text her, call her, wait for about an hour and a half, and just got nothing. So I fucked off, basically. So essentially, she had ditched me. Yeah, she had ditched me for her mates, and just told me to go to a bar where I couldn't get in. So, I mean, that's not as bad as the other ones, but it was just like, she didn't have the balls to say to me, look, this ain't working out. And that's it. When you're autistic, you don't fucking know.
Bingo.
You don't know whether it's going well or not.
I was crying
right
this morning
there.
over that shit.
Yeah. You want to know. Just say, if you're not into me, if you're only into my
Just
Doctor
fucking
Who
say
looks,
it, right? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm going to cry, but I'm going to cry more if you don't just say it. Like, if you just say
Exactly.
it, I'll cry once and I'll
Fucking
get
hell.
over it. If you don't say it, now I'm
Jesus.
feeling some sort of way about myself and crying all fucking Sunday on Easter till 5 minutes before we start our podcast. Oh, sorry. Too real? Too soon?
Very, very right there,
Too
yeah. I
soon?
mean, that's what I've been doing all day, just been crying on Easter Sunday. That's basically how I spend my Easter Sundays.
Me too.
I'm not sure about you, but
Yeah.
crying over wanking over your mum, Dante. So
Oh, don't you start. Now we're moving on. We're not going to cry because I will cry. I'm not joking. Don't go there.
Ooh.
So we're going to Jane next. Jane, what do you got? What do you got?
Get ready for some funny stories, because I don't know, I felt like bringing those on because I had a feeling we'd need some more good vibes up in here. I actually have kind of a similar like dick pic story. So y'all know I draw like erotic art and stuff. So my thing is that, whenever I have a partner, an activity that I enjoy doing is drawing them naked. So I know what that looks like in my brain. This is important for the setup. So my ex,
This is killing me because I'm over here. I'm like, so there's a picture of Sid somewhere now. Now I'm trying to find this picture and get it on the internet. Just to...
Yeah. So years and years and years and years later, my ex sends me a picture of a naked dude. The head is not in the picture. And he thinks that I think that it's him. And I was just like, who is this guy that you have a picture of? Because it's obviously not you. Because there's no way you worked out that fast and like got fit right away. Also, the guy doesn't have your mole. Like, I know what you look like.
Oh my God.
And then I thought about this a lot, and I was like, did you just like have this picture? Did you like have to Google naked dudes to find one that looks close enough like you that it might be convincing? And I just thought about this, and then I was like, oh yeah, I feel like I should have a normal reaction, but I'm too busy laughing at the situation.
I love the autistic mind here on the track with all the questions like, where did he get this picture? How long has he had it?
It's not you. Like, what was the goal here? You can't fool me. I drew you.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that was that one. And then I cheated on a cheater in high school.
No, cheater. Don't say you cheated on a cheater. You cheated. That's not an excuse. You can't. Nope, I'm not taking that. Okay.
Oh, get ready. So this dude.
She's like, no, you are. You're gonna take it.
Get ready. So we were in Canada. Woohoo! It was for an orchestra trip, and this guy had a girlfriend. That we're best friends now. I knew her. I was a dick to her. Like, I didn't like her at the time because I was dumb and not a good person, and I admit that. So I didn't care if their relationship was gonna not be good, because I was like, romance was happening and he wasn't stopping the romance from happening, and I wasn't stopping the romance from happening, and he was like, I mean, I want to break up with her, but I don't know how yet. And I'm like, well, let me help you with that. So we like get together and it's whatever, and then they break up, and then she thanks me later because she also didn't know how to break up with him. So that all worked out for them, and then I've got this person and it's all great. And then I realized that he is really dumb and doesn't have brain cells, so I leave right away. It's 2012, and supposedly the world was supposed to be ending on December 12th. For some reason, we all believe that. So on December 1st, I left and I was like, hey, it's not the end of the world. You still have 11 days left. You're good. Yeah. So then we fast forward later. So I'm like done and I've moved on, and I'm like, okay, my life is all good. And then at a different orchestra concert, I met this girl who like, he told me that they were like exes, I believe. I didn't know that they were actually together in that moment. He left that detail out. So then she becomes friends with me because she thinks that I'm just a regular friend. And then we're messaging the day after Valentine's Day, and I was like, oh yeah, we did that when we dated too. And she's like, wait, you guys dated? And I was like, did he not tell you that we dated? And she's like, no. When did you guys go out? And I was like, and then I had my calendar days marked because I remember these things, and I was like, it was on May of this day of this year, and then December 1st of 2012. And she's like, oh my god, we were together at that time. And I was like, oh, well, he was also with this other girl at that time, so did you know about her? And he's like, so she got cheated on by him with 2 other people. And then I had class with him the next day, so I was like, bitch, you got some explaining to do. And I was like, you didn't tell your girlfriend that you dated me at the same time that you dated her. And he's like, well, I didn't think it was important. And I was like, bruh, you cheated on her multiple times and you didn't think it was important. And then a week later, my friend is talking about his ex, and it's like, oh yeah, he and Sarah are so cute together. And I was like, Sarah's not his girlfriend. And I was like, you cheated again after we talked about this, my dude. Why? And he genuinely thought that none of us in this situation would ever find out about it, even though we all talk to each other and know each other, and all some of us go to the same school. So yeah, that was super dumb.
Stop talking about me. Okay, we didn't date. I may have been part of this story for some other fucking girl at Highline. Shut up, Audra. Mind your fucking business.
And then there was one detail that I forgot that was super weird. So there was this girl. It hasn't been confirmed whether or not she was his adopted sister or his ex, because apparently he told some of us different story. He told me that was like his sister, but then he told the other girl that was an ex. And I was like, if either one of these is true, that makes the lie even weirder, because why would you lie about dating someone that's your sister, but why would you say that someone you dated is your sister? Yikes.
That is just weird.
He's from Alabama.
That's really weird.
We like to keep it in the family. I remember I was at a football game in the middle of Oregon, and we almost got in a fight because the guys were dancing with the girls in the club, and somebody came up to him and says, like, if anybody's going to dance with my sister, it's going to be me.
Ooh. Yeah.
All right, it's time for us to leave. You got any more worse for us, or you good?
Oh yeah, I do have one weird quick one. So one of my exes, this is one of my most savage breakup. He, did not treat me the way I deserved to be treated, obviously. And he was like, you shouldn't let people take advantage of you. You need to be more aggressive. You need to stand up for yourself. So I was like, cool. So I dumped him. And he,
no, you weren't supposed to stand up to me.
Right?
Everybody else.
I told him we were taking a break. And then he's like, the next day, like it hasn't even been 24 hours yet. And he's asking when the break is going to be over. And I was like, well, it's probably when you stop being a dick. So never, I guess. And then I found out years later, one thing that he did. So he was like, I think 19 or something at the time. He kissed his landlord's 12-year-old daughter and was confused as to why the landlord thought that was wrong. So yeah, I'm so glad I got out of that relationship.
Was he at this time?
He was 19.
Now and I hate to say this, so this is where I don't know how to respond to that, because we had an issue when I was younger and we were in high school, and I think Audra, I remember, where we had a special needs kid who was 19 or 20 who used to try to date freshman women. Yep, Audra knows what I'm talking about. And there was a gray area because he's mentally 12 or 13. So if somebody's mentally handicapped and their age is a little bit older, but their mental capacity is 13 or 14, can you be mad at him for wanting to date an 8th grader? Now, looking back at it now, I feel that way. Audra, back then, did we feel that way? No, we just said, you're weirdo, you're 19, you're 20, what the fuck's wrong with you? But now knowing that he was learning disabled and had developmental issues, as an adult, I can kind of understand what he was going through. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. But still, also, that's your landlord's kid. Like, that's a...
Again, now, this guy may not have been special needs is what I'm getting at. I'm not sure, but if he was... Go ahead, Emma. I see you got something to say on that.
There is a film about this, but I can't bloody remember the name of it, isn't there? There's a film where somebody kisses their landlord's kid. Do you know what it is, Audra?
I can't remember the name, but I know what you're talking about.
But this literally has happened in a film, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they have a whole sector on this and a whole law actually about this, because what do you do in these situations? Because either side could get in a lot of trouble. Yeah.
And I think we hinted on this one of the first when we on our first show when I said I had a girl with disabilities hit on me, and I was like, oh no. And you got at first people like, what do you mean no? You want to date a girl with disabilities? No, I can't. I'm mentally 39. She's 12. No, I don't care how she looks or how she, you know what I mean? She can't grasp a relationship or sexual interaction. So how do you go there? Sorry, Variety D. It's not going to work out. Anyways, so is that all you had, Janejira?
Those are my stories.
Sorry, Variety D. You ain't getting none of this variety. I'm not going to be part of your variety.
Man. I don't care.
Next up, it's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's all right. You know, hey, I'll just let you know. Hey, just so you know, the calculator's right here for reference. Okay, just let you know. Calculator's right here, just for reference, just so you know. Okay. Anyways, our next person we have Emma Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes girl. Tell me what you got. What's your worst?
I do not have blue eyes. I have hazel colored eyes. Thank you very much. My
Go
glasses
fuck
are
yourself.
blue.
Okay, I told you I wasn't ready for this today. Okay.
Trust me, fucking myself is a lot better than some of the other fucks I've had. So there you go. Well, I don't even know where to start because I've had the micro penis. I can relate to all these stories. I tell you, I can literally. But I've had to be selective. So I've got 3 stories I'm going to say. One about a bad date, and then 2 about just funny things that happened. So when I was younger, and I want to say the name, obviously, so I'm trying to avoid saying the name. But basically, this person that I was in love with, we obviously we were very young. So there's not many places to go when you're young, is there, to have sex. So we were in their parents' house, and I'm a very, what can I say, thorough. I'm a very thorough lover. What can I say? So we were having a very good time, and
I like the way she said thorough, not committed or passionate, just thorough. Yeah. We're getting all the
I'm trying to think of the right word, thorough. See it through to the end, you know what I mean? And they had a double pine bed. Anyway, basically, long story short, I brought the bed.
Oh, shit.
So that was a very funny conversation with the mother. Trying to explain how the bed could work. Literally just snapped it.
I can't deal with it. Like the next morning, you guys are having coffee, and she's so Emma, I was wondering what happened to our guest bed. What happened?
It was his bed, so I mean, it was blatantly obvious. You know what I mean? She's cleaning up, oh my god, your bed's broke. How did this happen? Chakara, nobody knows.
I wonder what happened.
I wonder what could have happened. Oh no! What's going on the bed? Sorry, mommy. My other story is after I left my long-term partner, who's my son's dad. Obviously, I've been sort of on and off dating since, but majority single. And do you know how it is when you leave somebody that your girlfriends get together and they're like, oh right, Emma, you know, you're single again, so you need to revamp your sex life and everything. So they decided to have an Anne Summers party, which is probably my worst nightmare, because it's I don't need some no disrespect, Brenda, some middle-aged woman going through sex toys. I can shop for me on sex toys. I'm an adult, right? I don't need somebody describing.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So they wanted to have this thing, and I said straight up no. I said Variety D is my supplier. I'm all good. So what happened is, right? They said, okay, well, we've all got drunk, and so what they did is they ordered me, right, a vibrator online. Yeah.
Woo, how big is it?
And it said discreet packaging. So, you know, it was going to get delivered to my house. So we were drunk. I forgot all about it. So a week later, I'm just at home, minding my own business. Knock on my door. I go to my door. There's my 75-year-old elderly neighbour with a package.
Oh, yeah.
It has rained, and the package is bust open and there is a giant purple vibrator hanging out of it, and a clitoral stimulator in the shape of an octopus.
Wow.
I just don't even know whose face was redder, and I was just like, "Thank you, Brenda."
Oh my god!
Like, it was just like literally, me and her could not even look each other in the face for about a month. It was just like every time we were in the garden, it was just like, "Hi, hi."
I can't this morning.
Honest to God, it was the fact. I was like, I was just seething. I wanted to contact the company. I was like, "Discreet packaging." Brenda from next door, 75. I was like, was literally hanging out, and there was a way she handed me. She just went, "I think this is for you," and I was like, "Yeah, I think that is mine." Like, I could imagine having to like own that. I was like, "Yeah, like, oh."
Imagine being the guy whose dad catches his flashlight. That's nothing. So you're good.
Oh yeah,
You're
true.
going.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. And thinks it's a torchlight in the middle of the night.
Yeah, like,
not working. That's it.
or he's sitting there playing with it because he thinks it's the sliding one that goes in and out of itself. So he's sitting there like, "This thing isn't moving. Why isn't it moving?" That's my pocket pussy. Leave it alone.
Okay, so I've got one more story, which is about, because I thought we were going to just talk about worst dates. So I have to say about this worst date that I went on this year. So I went on this date, and so the person that I was dating had a thing for escape rooms. Now, because of my mental illness, right, PTSD, an escape room is probably like the worst activity you could ever possibly choose for me. I am a super accommodating person. I really wanted to push myself. So basically, we did loads of research. We planned it. We booked it. I said, I can't do anything that's like horror, zombies, weird faces, or like blood, or any, which some of them are quite like horror. So I said, what can we do? So I rang the place and I said, can you tell me what it's about? Can you tell me what it's like? They taught me through it. They explained it, but I couldn't go see it because obviously because of COVID restrictions, we were only allowed to go in at like set times and things. We weren't allowed to just turn up. So anyway, they said to me, it was the theme was, it was looked a bit like the inside of a spaceship type thing. And it was, you had to solve this mystery as to why these space engineers had gone missing, right? So I was like, okay, that all sounds pretty innocent, so that's fine. And so we arrived on the day, we're all booked in. And so like my main fears are being in the dark, being in small spaces, and seeing anything that looks scary, basically. Those are the things that are going to trigger me straight off into a panic attack. And then I'm just going to obviously be freaking out and hyperventilating and all that stuff. So I go in the room. Obviously, it's dark. And it's just like lit up with these little lights and stuff. It's a small room. It's like the size of like a little bedroom. So I'm already like a bit freaking out. So I'm trying to keep calm, doing all these puzzles. And we managed to get through all the puzzles. And what I thought would happen is it opens another door. And they said they wouldn't tell you how many rooms it is, but they said it's no more than 3. So you could like open one door and go into one room and then etc. So we were working really hard to solve these puzzles. And then the door, we solved it, and this door burst open. And I walked into the room, and the first thing I saw was a dead body lying on the floor. It was on the opposite perspective. So there was like a cabin with like one of these astronaut people like entombed in it. And then literally it looked like a medic had been stabbed to death. And all his face was like all bloody and everything. He was just there in the white jacket. So I literally went, ah! I screamed at the top of my voice, like ran back into the other room. And he was behind me. So he's like, what happened? I went, it's a dead body. So he like walks in and he's like, it's just a dummy, just walk around it. I'm like, I fucking can't walk around this, right? So basically the exit, you had to walk past the dead body. So there was like some doctor's coats hung up on the hook. So you had to get a doctor's coat, put it over my head and walk me past the dead body. And then I stood with my like nose basically on the door, just waiting for him to solve the puzzle so I could get out. He couldn't solve the puzzle on his own. I couldn't help him. So literally after 10 minutes of agony, this woman came and let us out. I was traumatized.
I feel you, because I can't do escape rooms either. See, I can't even talk thinking about it.
Honest to goodness, right? Like it was just unbelievable. I just couldn't, like, of all, like I said to the woman, is there anything scary? Is there any? I said specifically, what do you call them? Mannequins. I said specifically, is there any mannequins? Is there any like bodies? She said, no. I walk into the room, there's 2 fucking mannequins. There's one in a case of a woman, and there's a dead body on the floor. It's like, there's 2, not 1, but 2. And like you said, there were none in here. Oh my days. Yeah.
Fucking white.
Note to self.
No
do not do
mannequin did
escape
she
room.
understand.
Honestly.
That all you got, Emma? Because I'm about to set this motherfucker on fire with my 3. Don't worry. So I'm ready. So for those of you who don't know, I'm old. I'm 39. Okay. And on our days, we didn't have Tinder. We didn't have Bumble or Plenty of Fish or any Match.com. We had this thing called the chat line. And it was 206-753-CHAT, 2428. Remember the number to this day. And you got a free 90-minute trial if you called from a phone number. So you'd go call from your work on your lunch break and get your trial there, and then you'd go call from your friend's house and find out they've already used their trial, right? And go from there. So I'm about 21, 22, right? And this was actually, I was celibate for a year because I was living off at 288th and Military in Seattle, which is a very drug hood affiliated area. And I felt like the vagina around there was not going to be conducive to a successful future. So I decided not to participate at that time. And so I had met this young girl. She told me to meet her for a date downtown. And even though I've just now became Suitman, Audra will tell you, I've always had suits and ties. So I got my little suit, right? And I went down to this date, and it's a fancy little restaurant. We're the only one there. And the girl showed up in like a tube top, a mini skirt, and some fucking flip-flops.
Oh my gosh.
And I was so fucking disgusted. Like, bitch, you picked the restaurant. You didn't see what type of restaurant it was. And I don't give a shit if you're 21 and this is the only outfit you have. Then you should have said, let's go to fucking Pike Place. And I was hot. And then she ordered food and didn't eat it. And we're like 21 at this time. You better eat your fucking food. If I spend $30, right? So I ended up paying $100 for a lunch. Then ended up cussing out the girl afterwards because I just lost my shit. I couldn't fathom why you'd want me to take you to like a 5-star restaurant and show up in like fucking trailer trash outfit. Like that just blew my mind.
And then not eat.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
But then, now that I'm older, she was probably nervous and, all these different things. Fuck that. Anyways, don't care. Second one. Fuck you, Variety Dick, okay? We're calling you Variety Dick from now on. You're not even Variety D. You're just Variety Dick, okay? Call you
no,
VP.
that name's been taken. Shit.
It's been taken already.
Yeah, from Playboy, Hugh Hefner's friends. Go rest that man's soul. But
me.
yeah.
So the second story, it's pretty similar to somebody talking earlier about how people want to check on you when you're in an abusive relationship. This one was funny though, because this is fucking hilarious. So I was 23 or 4 and I was dating this British and Japanese chick. And she was like 8 or 9 years older than me. And she was trying to get me to be mature. I wasn't ready for it, right? But anyway, she comes over for dinner and she's like, I'm going to cook you chicken carbonara, right? And you got to use a wine to open that. Now, I told you I lived off 288th and Military. I don't have a fucking corkscrew. I don't fucking drink wine. So I took out a little a screwdriver, right? Like the ones you use for your glasses. And I'm working it in between the cork. And next thing you know, I stabbed the shit out of myself. Now I'm showing you the scar. If you can see that on my thumb.
Yeah.
Oh, the bomber clock you stabbed yourself for, man. What happened?
No, you see that?
It's like right there.
Yeah, I had to go to the hospital because there we go. I had it right there. There we go. See that?
Why, my brother? Why?
I stabbed myself with the fucking screwdriver trying to get the wine lid off. So I stabbed myself. I'm fucking bleeding everywhere. We put a towel on it. We get to the ER. Now she's pissed because, you know, we're supposed to be eating dinner and dinner's getting cold. So she's got a fucking attitude. And they're stitching me up and they ask her to walk out the room. And they looked at me and they go, so tell us again how this happened. So this was the accident, you say?
Yeah, typical.
Oh my god! I never laughed so hard, and then because, you know, she was very visually pissed, and so she came back and was, what was that about? And I was like, well, they think you're abusing me. I'm not fucking abusing you. Tone it down. You're gonna make them think I was lying. Better stop yelling at me. And that same girlfriend, though, funnily was like, if you ever give me a hard time and we get pulled over, I'm just gonna look over at him and go, help. And I was, oh, you're a bitch for that. Don't you dare. Well played. Well played. And then we're gonna go a little dark on this one. So I was dating a girl. She came over and we were giving each other services. Wink, wink, hint, hint. And she decided to try to service it all. And she puked on my penis.
Oh.
Look at Audra Sisak. That was the exact motion. That was actually it. And I learned two things. First one, stomach acid's a great lubricator. Yeah, I felt not that I'd used it, but it just felt real slimy. That shower, I was, Jesus, how do you get all of this off, right? And then the worst part was, like, I didn't know what to do after that. And my roommate was like, well, you know, at least she tried, you know, she showed effort. She was just in this. No, you should know your limitations. If you can't ride the whole ride, don't ride the whole ride. You know what I mean? Like, you don't put a whole foot long in your mouth if you can't put a whole foot long in your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't do that. Take the bite you can take, right? Like, never mind. Sorry. Oh, shit. They say more than a mouthful's a waste. I'm definitely a waste. Oh, shit. Sorry. My bad. I digress. Right? But I didn't know how to deal with that. And we broke up immediately after that. Like, a couple weeks later, I stopped talking. And I tried to start talking to her again. I was going to try. But, like, in the back of my mind, I can't get past that smell. I remember it smelled like it was IPA and battered fish. It was all bad. Like, I don't even like Elysian Brewery anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you keep your what is it? Your pop top or whatever? Your shot top to your fucking self. I don't want any of that anymore. You know what I mean?
I think you won for, like, worst story.
What'd you say? I won the
Worst story.
Yeah.
It was the IPA and the battered fish that did it.
You guys can't compete with that. Did I win? What do I tell them? What we've won, Jane?
Knowing.
No,
that
there's
we
no
have the worst
parting gifts. We don't have any. You know,
You get the honor.
Kitty litter for the next time you have to clean it up.
oh fuck you. You're not funny. You know what? I'm sticking to the fucking jokes. But those
Sawdust.
those sawdust. For fuck's sake. I hope she doesn't watch this. Yeah, this was recent.
I like to imagine that somewhere out there, there's a girl that's like, someone is like, so what's the worst thing that happened? And then she's like, well, I puked on a guy's dick one time. That wasn't
That's right.
Oh, shit. I'm going to hell. I should not have divulged that one. I didn't say any names, so we're good. My roommate knows who I'm talking about.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
Yeah.
all going to hell.
We're all going to hell. Everybody laughed at that one. You should have seen Audra's face was the best. She's like, I was like, yeah, that's the face. Yeah, I remember that. I was looking when she did it too. Oh no, stop. Because you could feel the convulsion first. She's convulsed. Whoa, hold up, stop. Oh shit, too late. Oh, sorry. Anyways.
We have another question. Was it like when you drink pop though and it comes out of your nose at the same time though?
Oh, you son of a bitch. I don't, you know what? Yes, it did. Actually, I'm going to be honest. I'm thinking back. Yeah, I did see it dripping out. Yeah, it was horrible. It was.
What kind of boy suck a child is this, man?
And then
Good
it was
God.
in bed, so you got to wash the bedding, and then it was like, well, there's no clean bedding, and then you got to wash the bed too and spot clean that, and then it still kind of smells like puke. Oh, it's fucked
So
up.
much work.
It was all fucked off. I've never. Whew.
How long did your dick smell like puke for?
Now hold on. I don't smell my dick.
But it's a great question. It's a great question.
You'd have to ask somebody who has more familiarity with the area, okay? Holler. That's my best answer. We're ending there because I'm gonna say too much and she's gonna send me a message soon. Fuck all you guys.
Well, I was gonna say, but you're around your dick 24/7.
No, I'm not. I keep it clothed. I wear underwear. I'm not around my dick. My
Is it
dick's
not
just
attached
not
to you?
rolling around all free willy-nilly for everybody to see and smell.
Free Willy.
No, Free Willy. Fuck you. She's Free Willy. Yeah. By the name. His name's Rico. It's Free Rico. Anyways, next person.
Rico.
He's got a little mustache like Pepe Le Pew. And I was kind of mad earlier because I felt attacked when Janejira was like, that's not your dick. It doesn't have a mole on it. I was like, hey, you don't know that? You haven't seen it? Shut up. Fuck you. Like, that's the other part about like sending dick pics. If you've got a disformed or a mark, like you just can't send any dick pics. She's like, hey, where's that mole at on the right side about 2 inches up? Why don't you have that now?
That is good advice if you're ever going to cheat on anyone, because a woman knows exactly where all your moles are, exactly where all your scars are. So all she has to do is go to the other girl. Does it have the mole on the right side about an inch up? And then they're like, oh, see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
Attention to detail.
Yeah, nobody knows you better than
ask
a
a
girl.
guy what a vagina looks like?
I've got a fucking clue. It could be
But-
shagging
Don't say
anything.
fish.
Not enough of them eat pussy to know. They're like, I don't know. It's got hair. It's somewhere in between her legs.
it's a
Like, I
cactus.
didn't
It
even
looks
look
the way
at
it
the
looks.
thing. You got to come face to face with that motherfucker. Look that pussy cat right now and go, you're mine. Sorry. Oh, oops, next person. Go ahead. Before we get canceled. Variety D, what do you got for us?
Before we get cancelled, eh? Well,
Oh,
I'm not part of the cancel culture.
See, like,
There
is
we
that
go.
Here we
a
go.
I got you.
No, but you know what? In sponsor of Mum's Toys that she bought me, yeah. I mean, was it this one that somebody said about? Because I still ain't sold it yet, you know. These things, but I'm not gonna use them. I say it 100 times, I'm not gonna use them, but it's probably gonna have to since the third, fourth lockdown. So
Oh my gosh. 4th lockdown?
yeah, I feel like fourth one's gonna come. That, but you know, I haven't
Yeah,
come.
England,
long
most
time.
of
So,
Europe and Asia hasn't opened up for those of you guys. For us Americans, England, Europe and Asia is still closed.
United States, United Kingdom are locked up like Akon. Won't let us out. Let us out. Anyway, so talking of letting out, I want to let out a story of what I did when I was younger. I think I was about 22. I was with one of my exes, again, crazy. And we did, have you heard of Rude Food, by the way, in Americans?
Nope.
Because Rude Food is a book from an actual British chef. I forgot his name now. One of Ainsley Harriet's best friends, but yeah, and Gordon Ramsay knows him too. But yeah, did a book called Rude Foods in the 90s, and it was resold again, and then they were talking about on TV, and I remember watching it on Channel 4 because they always show nastiness on that channel. After 9, and I said, "Oh, I've got an idea." Right idea. So yeah, then I think, yeah, let's get some chocolate. You know, obviously it's Easter. What a coincidence. Yeah, I must have put it in the microwave, you know, put a little bit of milk in there, stir it around. I could not wait. Like that song says, I can't wait, can't wait. Yeah, so what I did, I got the bowl out the microwave really quickly, give a little stir it up, you know, like Bob Marley, and then I put it on my ex-boyfriend's dick, and his sausage was boiling. Just to say that, yeah. It looked like a science experiment in school. You know
What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what the?
I wasn't wrong. I did the right thing. I was just so eager because I wanted to do it. You know what I mean? I wanted to.
Third degree
burns.
burns.
I'm
Third
just
degree
not.
burns.
Well, it wasn't fair.
What did I miss here? You put boiling water on his. Why? Like
No chocolate, man. Melted chocolate. You see what I'm saying?
No.
That's
no,
Still hot.
no.
Yeah, but
Too
Oh.
toasty.
I just, I'm
We
upset.
had
at you.
ideas. We had plans.
Yeah,
you should have just
fucked up
thrown
his
up
whole
on his
week.
dick.
Imagine being that, like, I could imagine being that guy, right? Oh, I'm about to get some pussy. She's gonna lick some chocolate off of me. Now I'm in the hospital with blisters and boils on my penis. Like, let me guess, the guy didn't come back, did he?
No, I couldn't go back, but he did give me a few phone calls after, and I felt so embarrassed because I just ignored him. You know, I was just like, nah, stuff
Oh,
this.
you burned his dick and then you didn't even answer to say sorry. That's fucked up.
I did apologize. I did, but not enough. You see what I'm saying? I didn't get enough. I didn't get some. Yeah, nah, I didn't get some. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, but yeah, I learned my lesson though. Always be careful with your food, kids. So
Don't put
yeah,
hot things
with the
on
food or with the
sensitive
penis? I
areas.
think it's with the penis, not the food. Be careful.
but
with
hold
the
on,
penis.
they're both no, okay, not both edible, are they? You can't eat a cock, but I mean, what it is, you can put them both in your mouth, innit? That's what it is.
You can't eat a
And
cock.
someone's got to
You
swallow
can,
something.
but it might make you sick, right? Today.
Nah, you see that there? You
Opinion on that.
see my larynx? I'm blessed. You know, I'm you know, I must do my yeah, you know, before I do them. Yeah, nah. But the thing is, having said that though, I have made a mistake, not mistake, but amateur, you know, when it comes to oral, and my bottom teeth here, like this one's very sharp. I don't know if you see it on turn here. Like,
I'm
yeah,
not looking.
I've scratched the guy's thing with the because what? No, it was his fault really, because he bust a nut, and I was like, I was like, and then it scratched him. So, you know, it happens, isn't it? You know, you should be glad to have those claw marks looking like, or say teeth marks and a thing.
Sexidents.
It
They're
happens.
not accidents, they're
Yeah.
sexidents.
Yeah, but even that sounds like sexy dance. That's not nice. No, this is disability talks over here. That's not nice.
You're just creating more disabilities, Variety, as you go along.
I can't deal with this. I'm over here.
I'm a variety. What do you expect?
I've been puked on. I'm like, no, I don't want teeth marks to go with it. Like, no.
Why not? It's good.
I've already been traumatized
It makes
enough.
you remember.
Fuck that. Well, do you have one more? Or are you good, Sunshine?
Yeah, I have one more. So basically, when it comes to things like dating, yeah, could you imagine? I've never actually been on a proper date before. What that means is I've always been the this is way before Netflix and chill. It's the FWB or the I'm so broke I can't, you know, go out or buy you something. It's always me thinking buying. And then what else? Oh, we're just mates. Oh yeah, I'll pay you back next week. That's all I've had. And imagine a 29-year-old going through that bullshit, you know, for 13 years. Yeah, 12, 13 years. So like I've never actually been in a proper date like what you see on TV and them nice candle things and you know, violent, yeah, all them stuff. I've never. I've been with some broadcast motherfuckers. That's what it is, you know.
Honestly, if you haven't dated
can we have
me,
music, Jane? Can we have music, Jane?
I was gonna say, honestly, I think if you haven't dated me, you probably haven't had any of those things. I'm about one of the only guys left I know that tries to do candles or flowers. That's like I didn't bring up my worst date. My worst date's been happening the last 3 weeks. I've been stood up 4 fucking times.
Oh, I have. So.
Well, it sounds like we had a good episode. Everybody say vagina on 2? No, I'm just fucking with you. I drew a blank. I was gonna say something smart. Hey, Mark's like, yeah, vagina. My mom's not here. I can say it as much as I want. I moved out, right? Well, thank you for joining us today at Suitman Productions for Dating with Disabilities 2. Just to give you a heads up, we're coming back next month, right? Same bad time, same bad fucking channel, right? The first Sunday. We do have some good news, though. We've already picked our topics for that show, though.
We have.
And they're a pain in the ass. our next show on with dating disabilities, I'm trying to pull it up now if my computer would hurry the fuck up. We're going to be talking about expectations versus reality. It's the idea of like what people expect. Like when you tell somebody you're deaf and you still speak, they're like, well, you're not deaf. And you're like, bitch, I'm deaf. You know what? Fuck you. I'm not explaining to you how deaf I am. Right? So that's part of it. And then like the other things that like we talked about, hopefully we'll get Benny back next month so we can talk about some of those aids that they were talking about using, right? So the aids to help you with sex, right? Like I'm not going there, but that's some of the things we're talking about. But the other part we were going to talk about was disclosing your disability.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's something that I've really been having to do more of and be more focused on, like just telling people up front, yeah, I have Asperger's and I'm deaf in one ear. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? So, and then for other people, we've talked about, do you even disclose your disability? We had one of our panelists talked about how their partner didn't disclose their disability to them. Well, maybe they weren't disabled and you're just a prick for thinking they were. Shout out to Blue Glasses Girl. I'm not going to say her name, say who it was, but fuck her. You know what I mean? Don't shame that guy. Maybe he didn't have a diagnosis and he's just a douchebag. Did you ever think of that? Anyways, so we're going to be talking about that our next show.
Because he wasn't a douchebag.
Oh, whatever. Maybe you were the douchebag. You were the one who caused it. Give it up for the one, the only Emma Blue Glasses.
Yeah.
Give it up for Mark Burkwood.
Burkwood.
Give it up for Variety Penis. I mean, Variety.
You don't have that much. No, stop it.
Give it up for the potato chip asshole. I mean, enthusiast, Janejira. Unfortunately, we talked about children earlier, and Audra's taking care of her kids. So give it up for Audra. And last but definitely not least, number 1 in your hater section, number 5 on the most wanted list. Give it up for your host, your resident asshole, Duante Suitman Barnett. Thank you again.
Beautiful.
What'd you guys think?